Is your business struggling to stand out from the crowd online? At Webamax, we specialize in turning clicks into customers. From SEO and PPC to social media management and stunning web design, we've got you covered. Boost your online presence and drive real results. Ready to take your business to the next level? Visit Webamax.com. That's Webimax.com for a free digital analysis. Rule the web with Webamax.com.
American soccer fans, welcome to episode 135 of the USA Soccer Cast. We are bringing you everything about the U.S. national teams, the players, the leagues, and everything else that impacts the game of soccer in these United States. I'm Donald Wine. We have a packed show for you this morning. Copa América starts this week, and the United States men's national team are beginning their final preparations for hosting the tournament. We're going to do more to preview the tournament and the U.S. men's national team's path later in the week, but today we will recap the friendlies that we had last week against Colombia and Brazil. They were two very different games with two very different performances that must be discussed. We will also review the Copa América roster, and then after the break, we have a treat. I sat down a little over a week ago with Tyler Adams and Wes McKennie for a great interview where we discussed what they need to do in order to be successful at Copa América, so stay tuned for that. But let's begin with the friendly that took place on June 8th, right here in the DC area against Colombia. Shout out to everyone who came out to that match. Over 55,000 people in attendance. Of course, most of them were wearing the yellow shirt of Colombia, and the final result was brutal, to say the least. 5-1, the final score for Colombia. Tim Weah had the only goal for the United States, which actually came at a time where you hoped that the team could pull a result. Colombia raced out to a 2-0 lead after 19 minutes. The U.S. men's national team looked absolutely lost and were making some careless mistakes at that point. We progress, and Weah gets his goal in the 50th minute, and at least for a while, you had the hope that we could get another one and walk out of there with a draw. But it all fell apart in the last 13 minutes, with Colombia scoring 3 times to quickly make it 5-1. And again, the United States was run off the field by that performance. After the game, social media was on fire. Greg Berhalter in his post-game press conference said that players didn't respect the game or the opponent with that performance. And a lot of ire was thrown at Greg Berhalter for not having the team ready. And to be fair, Berhalter took responsibility for the team's performance and the coaching staff not having them fully prepared. But the players objectively were not good on the afternoon. And it was disappointing to see them fall apart like that. When a team loses like that, everyone's got to share blame. There was a ton of mistakes that led to goals. Players were making some uncharacteristic defensive gaffes. They were losing the ball in the final third. They just couldn't get the momentum needed to get a goal, and they did not play with a sense of urgency that teams in South America have to possess every single game. Colombia played that game like it was a World Cup match. We approached it like it was a friendly, and the results are right there to prove that. There's no shame in losing to Colombia, who has a 22-match unbeaten streak dating back to February of 2022. It is absolutely unacceptable to lose the way they did. Now, the team knows the level it needs to play at when Copa starts this weekend, but that didn't stop a lot of the takes online about this team and the head coach in the days between the Colombia match and the Brazil match. A lot of chatter. The haters were out there, but one part of coaching, one part of being a professional athlete, is how you respond after getting your butt kicked. And that was a butt kicking. So how do you regroup and respond with a performance the next match that can help alleviate the pain and anger within the fan base? The 5-time world champions Brazil, number 5 in the world, they're coming to town. And with all that talent and also coming off of the Colombia performance, there were definitely a lot of people who rightfully had low expectations of the team doing well. And so the team headed to Orlando to take on Brazil before 60,000 fans, the largest soccer attendance in the history of the state of Florida. And once again, a ton of yellow. Playing in Orlando, which is one of the largest centers of Brazilians outside of Brazil, meant that those fans turned out and, man, they showed up. And Brazil obviously brought their A team and started just about everyone that is expected to start for the team during the tournament. Brazil are the world beaters that you read about beating. And to win a World Cup or a World Cup, you have to get by a team like Brazil to do it. So the game starts and Brazil's bringing a lot of pressure, but the U.S. is withstanding it somewhat. It's not great, but they're doing it. I think the unlucky thing was Yunus Musa almost gave the U.S. an incredible start. He had a rocket early on that hit the crossbar and unluckily stayed out of the net. It would have been one of the great goals in American history, in my opinion, but it really was unfortunate that it didn't go across the line. And early on, it felt like Matt Turner was about to have a pretty good game in net. I literally turned to a couple of my friends in the stands and said, wow, Matt looks like he's got it on tonight. And they agreed. Not 15 seconds later, though, in the 17th minute, Matt Turner makes a mistake on a clearance. Brazil gets it, bing, bang, bong. 2 quick passes later, the ball ends up on Rodrigo's feet, and Rodrigo makes the U.S. pay, scoring to put them up 1-0. I turn to my friends and go, of course, now that happens. And so we kind of laughed at that. So my bad, Matt. That's on me. I'll take that one. Now, like Colombia, it felt like the U.S. were going to be playing like they were climbing Mount Everest. With all the stars for Brazil led by Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo up front, they were getting a ton of chances. However, in the 24th minute, Christian Pulisic draws a foul just on the edge of the penalty area. And he lined up the free kick along the wall. There was a small opening on the left side. And Christian snuck that thing through, man. Snuck it underneath the hand of an outstretched Alisson for a free kick goal to make it 1-1. Absolutely amazing shot for Christian. And it gave the team and the American fans some new life. After that goal, the team settled in, and I'll tell you, I thought the response was excellent. Brazil was still throwing a lot at them, but the U.S. were keeping guys in front of them. I told you early on that I thought Matt Turner was on. Well, it turned out after the mistake, he was. He had 11 saves on the night. 11. That is the most for a U.S. men's national team keeper in a match since Tim Howard had his 15 saves against Belgium in the 2014 World Cup. Matt Turner was all over the place, dancing on his head and keeping the ball out of the goal. And on the other end, the U.S. were creating chances. Christian Pulisic almost made it 2-1 on a breakaway, but it was a terrific Alisson save to deny him. Brendan Aronson also had a ridiculous chance to give the U.S. the lead, but once again, Alisson was there to stop it. Alisson had 6 saves of his own on the evening. And you could argue that the U.S. outplayed Brazil over the rest of the match. Don't believe me? Check Ronaldinho's comments on how he thought Brazil played against us. In short, he was not happy. The final score, USA won, Brazil won. It was a great response to the Colombia match, and it left people walking out of the stadium feeling at least sort of good about our chances in Copa America. When we play up to the level that's required, this team can hang with the Brazils of the world. And it doesn't matter how you think Brazil was treating their matchup with the United States. That's on them to figure out. You can only play to the level that's expected on your end and let the results do the talking. And the speech after that one was the United States drew Brazil, and you could argue they were unlucky that they didn't win. So now that those 2 friendlies are behind us, we look forward to Copa America. And the 27-man roster that was in camp for the 2 friendlies was officially reduced over the weekend to the 26-man Copa America roster. So let's take a look at who made the cut. For goalkeepers, we have Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson, and Matt Turner. Defenders, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Christopher Lund, Mark McKenzie, Shaq Moore, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Anthony Robinson, Miles Robinson, and Joe Scally. 9 defenders on this roster. 7 midfielders on this roster. We have Tyler Adams, Johnny Cardoso, Luca De La Torre, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Gio Reyna, and Malik Tillman. And then 7 forwards. Brendan Aronson, Valerian Balogun, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, Tim Weah, and Haji Wright. Timmy Tillman, not Malik, his brother Timmy, is the only player from the June camp that does not make the Copa roster. He heads home. Malik stays in camp. I don't know that there are any real surprises in this roster. Shaq Moore appears to be the backup for Joe Scally at right back. Christopher Lund and Mark McKenzie are some of the reserve defenders in the group. And there are a lot of players who can play multiple positions, obviously. With Serginho Dest out with his ACL injury, replacing all that he brings to the field is an impossible task. But it feels like Greg Berhalter is hoping to channel some Billy Bean Moneyball action and try to replace him in the aggregate with some of the personnel on the field. Joe Scally had a very difficult time during the Nations League finals at right back. I thought he did much better in both of these friendlies over the past week. Tim Ream was torn apart against Colombia. did better against Brazil, but you wonder if he's still going to be the full-time starter with Chris Richards, or if you'll see a Miles Robinson or Cameron Carter-Vickers in there at times when the group stage starts. Tyler Adams was on a minutes restriction during the two friendlies. The idea is to continue to ramp up his minutes before the tournament starts, and he will be ready to go. Will he be ready to start against Bolivia? That appears to be the plan for him, but of course, time will tell on how that works. Johnny Cardoso, I thought, did magnificent in his starts against both Brazil and Colombia. The biggest question mark is Josh Sargent. He makes the team, but is still battling an injury that he suffered towards the end of the season with Norwich. And the coaching staff clearly is hoping that he will be ready to go when the tournament starts. They do have the option of replacing Josh Sargent if he's too injured to play in Copa America. They have until 24 hours before their opening match against Bolivia to make any injury replacement. So we'll see if he's good to go. And I know we all hope he will be, but that's what this week is for, to test him and see if he's going to be ready for the rigors of this tournament and to be called on a moment's notice. And if not, we may see an injury replacement come in for him. Let's pause here for a quick break. On the other side, as promised, the interview with Tyler Adams and Wes McKennie. You will not want to miss it. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, are you looking for the latest gear for your U.S. national teams, Major League Soccer, the NWSL, or any other team in the world of soccer? The USA SoccerCast has affiliate partnerships that are ready to help you out. Head to linktree.com/USA SoccerCast, where we have links to Homage, Fanatics, the MLS Store, and Breaking Team. You can get the jersey, shirt, hat, or accessory you're looking for to support your team, while also saving some money and helping this show in the process. Again, linktree.com/USA SoccerCast. Click on the links and get your gear. And we thank you as always for your support of the show. We're back, and as I mentioned, we have a treat for you today. About a week and a half ago, I had the chance to sit down with U.S. men's national team midfielders Tyler Adams and Wes McKennie as they were doing some publicity for their new Truly commercials that are dropping today in advance of Copa America. It was great to have a discussion with them about their preparation for Copa America and some of the details behind how this core of the U.S. men's national team have grown and played together and what they need to do to be successful. Of course, this interview was recorded in advance of the two friendlies, so obviously there aren't any questions about those results. And we do discuss the Truly ads that they will be a part of this summer as the summer of soccer really hits high gear. So without further ado, here we go. Enjoy the interview with Tyler Adams and Wes McKennie. We're honored to be joined by U.S. men's national team midfielders Tyler Adams and Wes McKennie as they prepare for Copa America. They open up against Bolivia at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on June 23rd. What's up, y'all? Great to see you again, and thanks for the time.
Good to see you. Good to see you too. Better conditions.
Yes, yeah, it was good to see you both the other day at the Truly shoot. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of hot, I know, for all of us. But what does it mean to be part of this national campaign as we get started for not just Copa America, but the summer of soccer?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, us both knowing each other for a long time and then coming to the national team and then, having a partner also like Truly that kind of has the same ideas, wanting to grow the sport in America, because that's a mission that we've been set on for quite some time now. You joined the national team at 18, I joined at 19, and it's something that we've been on a journey of. And it's good to actually have a partner that has the same ideas, same beliefs, and also want to bring enjoyment to the game.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the characters in the commercial. What was the most fun part for you in filming it?
I'm gonna be honest, it's not always my favorite thing to do commercials and media. But when you have someone like Weston to kind of keep you energetic and keep you up to par, it's exciting. So like you said, we've been obviously friends for a really, really long time, and creating that relationship is important, not only on the field, but also off the field. And when we're able to do things like this and partner with partners that allow us to do things together as well, it's always more fun. I'd rather do something with him than do something by myself.
Yeah, and I'll say for the record, it was a lot of fun with you guys the other day. But switching gears to the actual camp, you're obviously preparing for Copa America. You don't normally get this long of a camp as you have for this window, and I know you guys are just at the end of your seasons and you've kind of trickled in, but now the whole team is together. What's been some of the points of emphasis leading up to the tournament to kind of the things that you need to work on or at least to focus on as you progress through these matches?
I think just a clear message, just a clear understanding of what we want to do, how we want to do things when things maybe don't turn out the way we want them to on the pitch. Just kind of creating a basis of how we want to approach games, building confidence, obviously. I think, we've all known each other for so long. I think the chemistry is not in the question. I think it's just more understanding and fine tuning the little things about each other on the field. And I think this camp is a perfect time to do it because, like you said, we've never been in camp this long together. And it's also nice to catch up with some of the guys and spend some quality time with them as well.
Wes, you had an incredible season this year at Juventus, and it saw you playing in a couple of different positions other than your normal position that we see you in the midfield. How does that help you prepare for this tournament? And is it possible that we kind of see you moonlighting in different positions on the field during this tournament?
I think it's always good. I think, both of us, obviously, Tyler a little bit more unfortunate this year with the injury, but coming back, but throughout his career and me both, we've been players that are kind of like jokers. We've been able to adapt to so many different positions. And I think that's a blessing also because it helps you understand different roles and it helps you understand, if I'm playing right midfielder and I have my right back, say Tim Weah behind me at Juventus, then I understand the things that he has to do as well and what's hard and easy for him. Obviously, during this tournament, Copa America, of course, I would love to find myself playing only the 8 position, but I think I'm just the type of person that's very selfless and whatever the team needs to get results. I think that's the most important thing is sacrificing everything you can to get a result.
Tyler, as he mentioned, you had to sit out a large chunk of the season this year due to injury. First off, how are you feeling? And then also describe kind of the emotions of sitting out and besides obviously working to get back on the field, what kept you motivated? What kept you grounded as you were dealing with those injuries?
Yeah, no. It's been in a sense, very difficult, but at the same time, there's a silver lining to everything, I believe. And for me, obviously, the birth of my child kept me motivated more than anything. No footballer, I think, ever has got to spend, the first 4 months of their kid's life with them basically every single day. And our schedules don't really we don't have the time to do that. And, for me, I spent so much time on the sideline that, every single day I was waking up and on obviously a little bit different schedule than the team. And that allowed me to just spend a lot of quality time with him and watch him grow and develop and get older. And that's been really, really special for me. And that's also kept me motivated to just keep going on the field as well. And, I've never been stressed about playing on the fields. I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anybody. I know my quality and have belief in myself. So obviously to be here and with the team and back around the boys, I'm happy. But I just want to get playing consistently again. But, you have to give it a little bit of time. So even now I'm using this camp and this pre-period, which I'm fortunate to have, as more of a build-up period rather than just trying to play 90, as I'm typically used to. So, even these first couple of games, I'll just kind of build myself up into Copa America and try to just become more robust as I'm used to having. So now it's just a little bit more about the build-up, but I feel good right now.
You both have played on the club level with some of your teammates. You guys played with each other at Leeds with Brendan Aronson. This year, obviously, Wes, you were with Tim Weah at Juventus. How does that help with the overall team chemistry? Does it make it? I know you guys have been together on the national team for a long time, but how does that translate from the club level to the national level with you guys all, a lot of you playing on the same team?
I think it just builds a bigger bond, honestly. I think, at our club levels, there's a different type of vibe. There's a different way of play. So whenever we come with the national team, I think it's obviously it's nice to have a travel partner whenever you're coming from your club teams, but I don't think it really makes a huge difference because we have a different type of style of play here. We have different roles sometimes here. We're asked different things here than we are with our clubs. So whenever we are coming into camp, it's just more so, okay, I've spent more time with this guy back in the club level than maybe someone else has. But I don't think it really makes a huge difference, in my opinion.
And you've had that continuity with the team, like the core, the players, but also with the coaching staff. I mean, you guys kind of came up at the same time as Greg Berhalter became the head coach. He's been around for about five plus years now, as of the two of you. So that entire time, you kind of have grown collectively. How do you feel that continuity with the coaching staff, which is not something that every national team gets to have? How has that affected the program with you guys being kind of part of that core and him being at the leadership for so long?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because I think everyone sees the picture now and kind of where we're at, having built a very good culture within our team, and have gained a lot of momentum as of recently. But in the beginning, it wasn't all flowers and what's the saying? You know what I'm saying?
Roses and dandelions.
Dandelions and roses. Dandelion. Oh my God, it wasn't amazing. And I say that only because we came, obviously, when we were introduced to the national team, having Dave Sarachan as our coach, there was a lot of freedom, a lot of do this, no structure really to how we played. And when Greg came in, it was a lot of structure thrown at us at once, and we had to understand that, if we want to be successful, we're going to need this type of structure. So we had to develop with him as he developed into a national team coach, and we developed into more mature national team players. That if we wanted to be at the core of this thing, we had to understand the values of what we needed as a team. And I think you see today a lot more structure, a lot more understanding of what we want to do and where we want to go as a program. I think we're on the path now.
As you enter this tournament, Copa America, obviously coming up very, very soon, there's the chance for both of you to take your games to the next level against some excellent competition. If there's an area of your game that you're hoping, this summer, I'm just gonna dazzle everybody with this particular part of my game, what would it be? If there's one thing that you hope people take, if they're tuning in to Copa America and they're seeing you guys play for the first time, what would you hope they take away about your game?
I was gonna say I just have scored more goals, but you know what I'm saying. No, but I think for me, you can always become a more complete player, and to be honest, it depends on who you're complimented by. And for me, it's different when I'm at Bournemouth to when I'm with the national team because if I was at Bournemouth, I would say I want to add a little bit more attacking quality to my game. But when I'm here with the national team, I would say I'm complimented well by Weston and Eunice or Weston and Gio or whoever's in front of me. So it really depends on the role and who you play with. So I mean, I think you can continue to evolve into a more complete player. I mean, I can nitpick a lot of things that I want to continue to improve on. One would just be playing freaking consistently. That would be great. But for me, I think it's just really depends on the complement of players that
you have. Yeah, I think for me, like you said, you can always become a more complete player. But I think one thing I definitely want to improve on during this summer and hopefully showcase in Copa America is just productiveness. Is scoring goals, getting assists, being involved in plays that are important in the game. I think that's one thing that I have to show because I think for me, I feel like everyone also already kind of sees me as a guy that is fights and tackles and runs and everything. But I feel like I can offer just more than that as well. Yeah, but I think that I can offer more than that. I put that upon myself to try to do that. Hopefully it works out. If not, then hopefully we just win. That's important.
You guys start Copa America in Dallas. Obviously, you won the Nations League back there for a third straight time in March. You're going to Atlanta and Kansas City during the group stage. And I'm curious because, of course, you guys play in all types of stadiums in Europe, big stadiums, small stadiums, loud stadiums, maybe some quiet stadiums. Are there any adjustments that you have to make when you're over here in the United States playing, particularly in the NFL stadiums where acoustics aren't necessarily the best at communicating when you're on the field?
No, in terms of communication, I think just based off of body language, we have a good understanding of one another. Um, and we usually go into the game with a great plan of how we want to execute things. But I mean, I think just for us, I think that we've really just come to realize not as of late, but in our entirety of our national team career is that, throughout a lot of games on home soil, sometimes we're not going to have the most fans in the stadium. Sometimes other teams that we play against are going to have bigger fan bases supporting them. And that's just the reality of what we're trying to grow and as we try to push the game of where we want to be. But that's what we've really come to learn that, sometimes a home game can feel like an away game, but it hasn't really fazed us.
When you look forward to beyond Copa America, right? Obviously, the World Cup is coming in 2026. I know you two are angling to be a part of that in a couple of years. Is it hard to kind of not look forward to like what could be coming beyond in a couple of years when you're, when the world stage is here and you guys could be the two of the prominent guys stepping foot on it? Or do you guys kind of keep a level head and try and focus one game at a time and just see what happens after that?
I think maybe I could speak for many of us. I think we just try to keep a level head because, first of all, tomorrow is not even promised, and knock on wood, that would be an unfortunate injury where you might be able to be involved. So I think keeping the level headed, going one game at a time, step at a time. I think that's the most important thing because if you start getting involved in just thinking about the future, then you lose sight of what's present. So right now, what's ahead of us is the game against Colombia. Once we finish that, it'll be the game against Brazil, and after that, Bolivia, and so forth. So I think one game at a time, obviously, is a big picture. Of course, in the back of our heads, we know that the goal is 2026 and Copa America in front of us now. But as far as the way that we think, the way that we approach things, we think about what's in front of us.
Last question I got for you guys, of course, looking at Copa America. For the United States to win Copa America as a team, what's the main thing that you feel like you need to do to be successful?
I think there's a lot of little details that we need to be successful. I think for me, the most important thing of now having the experience of the 2022 World Cup and looking forward to other World Cups is obviously, the most important thing is navigating the group stage. It's always important to get out of the group stage. But after that, for me, it's about showing composure in knockout games. How do you handle knockout scenarios where there's obviously heightened pressure, heightened stress? Every play matters just a little bit more. And really, when it comes down to it, how do you execute the details of those games? Because, the game against Holland haunts me a little bit for a couple of reasons. I think in that game, we had chances early on that obviously could have changed the way of the game, and we didn't take those. And it always felt like Holland was comfortable in that game. And when I look at our growth and development as a team, how in those scenarios are we that team where it seems like nothing phases us? Like a team gets early chances against us, we weather the storm, and we find a way to score three, 4 goals at the end of games. Like it's not always just going to be, dominating through possession or dominating through duels, or it's not going to be this perfect scenario of a game. But how are we just like composed that whatever scenario is thrown at us in whatever game we're comfortable enough to handle it? I think that's always the most important thing.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to watching that throughout Copa America, and at halftime, we'll see you guys probably on our TV sets with the new Truly campaign. Tyler, Adams, Wes McKennie, great to see you both again. Appreciate the time. Best of luck, and I'll see you down the line at these games.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. I really want to thank Tyler and Wes for their time. It was great to hang out with them for a bit on the set of one of the Truly commercials. They're absolutely great guys, very funny together. You can tell they share a close bond, especially when doing this sort of things. Tyler admitted that he doesn't really enjoy doing the press and sponsorship obligations and things like that. I get that. So I do appreciate their time, and I hope you all enjoy the Truly commercials featuring them that are coming out this week. You might see a familiar face on one of them. Just saying. But that will do for episode 135 of the USA Soccer Cast. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to follow us on Twitter, and we are on YouTube as well. On both, find us at USA Soccer Cast. Subscribe, rate, and review our episodes. It really helps and is greatly appreciated. Don't forget, we have affiliate programs with a ton of places to get you the gear you love and help you travel to see your favorite teams or watch them from the comfort of your home. Head to our Linktree, linktree.com/USA Soccercast to learn more. Click the links to all of these sites and support the show in the process. We have partnerships with Homage, Fanatics, Kitbag, ESPN Plus, Fubo TV, which will help you during Euros, Paramount Plus, Hilton, Marriott, United, and so much more. And check out our stimulus store. We got the gear that you need to be ready for the summer of soccer, so you should get on that. We will talk to you again soon, y'all. Peace.